most exciting matches of the Premier League season takes place this Saturday. It's Liverpool taking on Tottenham Hotspur at the Tottenham Hotspur Arena. It's always one of the best attacking football matches of the season. Goals galore. Think back to some of the great matches that have happened between the two sides. The Liverpool 5-0 win back when Suarez was tearing the league apart. You think of Tottenham when they beat Liverpool 4-1. Harry Kane dominating that match and Salah scoring the consolation goal. You think back to the 2-2, where Salah scored in the dying minutes of the game, that incredible wonder goal to secure a point for Liverpool. It's always been a fixture that excites and gets people on the edge of their seats and fills people. So much emotion, and it's such a great game to watch. Horrible as a fan. I hate playing Tottenham, I won't lie. It's my second least favourite game to play in Man City. Now, stats wise, it shouldn't be. Tottenham haven't beat us since 2017 in that 4-1 game that I mentioned just a moment ago. Since then, I think there's been two or three draws, and the rest have been Liverpool wins. But the reason for that is because Tottenham have constantly been in a flow of transition. You go from when Pochettino was there, that was when the 4-1 win happened. Then Poch goes, Mourinho comes in, Mourinho goes, Conte comes in, Conte goes. It's a revolving door of managers and systems continuously. Now, it's very similar to the Chelsea squad in that regard. And clearly, it doesn't work. But they finally look as though they've found a man who's rejuvenated the team in Ange Postecoglou. The former Celtic manager has got them playing some of the best attacking football that the Premier League has seen in a long time. He's filled them with a belief and a confidence to get at teams, press, win the ball, and go on the attack, saying you can score 4 or 5 goals easy. We saw that against Burnley. We saw it against Manchester United. Could we see it against Liverpool? Fingers crossed, no. But there's a few stats for this game coming up. So just to go through some of the base stats for Liverpool versus Tottenham, I have them on my screen here. Just going to go through a few of them, just to discuss the key parts that I think will play a big factor in this game, give my thoughts on what the starting lineup should be, and how I think the game is going to go out in general. So if you look at Tottenham, they've got 1.17 goals conceded per game. Now that's because they're very attack-minded. They like to press high up the pitch, win the ball back in midfield, and get on the attack. It's very similar to the Jurgen Klopp system when he first came into Liverpool. Heavy metal, high pressing football that's going to take teams by surprise and try and blow them out of the water. And because of this, Tottenham on average have a shot conversion rate of 17% from 14.5 shots per match. That is high. 14.5 shots per match is the average, meaning that there's games where they've got more than that. Obviously, the Burnley game is the prime example. A 17% shot conversion rate is not bad at all. Now, considering as well that they've just lost Harry Kane, one of the greatest strikers the Premier League has ever seen, that is a testament to the type of football that Postecoglou has got Tottenham playing. Son is in the form of his life at the moment with 5 goals. James Maddison looks arguably to be signing of the season with 2 goals and 4 assists already in the first 6 matches of the Premier League season. And there were periods during that Arsenal game where Tottenham were the better team. I think overall they actually were the better side away from home at the Emirates, where they've only picked up 1 win in the past 20 seasons. They look good. They look like a threat, and Liverpool need to be very wary of this. Now, let's compare the stats that I just said then to Liverpool. So Liverpool concede 0.83 per game. That's because we tend to concede 1 goal per match. We have 1 clean sheet this season against Aston Villa, but on average we tend to concede 1. We conceded 1 against Wolves, 1 against Bournemouth, 1 against Chelsea. We are likely to concede goals similar to Tottenham, but just on a lesser scale. In terms of shots per match, Liverpool have 13.5, 1 less actually than Tottenham, which again, testament to the Tottenham side, because you look at Liverpool and we have Salah, Nunez, Diaz, Gakpo, Jota. Spurs really only have Son, Kulusevski, James Maddison, and Richarlison. Now, Richarlison isn't even in good form. Kulusevski isn't exactly in great form, and that just shows how good attacking they are. They've a great team going forward. But that could also be their undoing, which I'll go through in a moment. And Liverpool's shots per game, the conversion rate, 19%, so less shots, but better conversion. Because we tend to score three. We've done that against Bournemouth, Wolves, Villa. We're clinical in front of goal. Now, going back to what I said then, Tottenham, with regards to they've only got a select few players who can really do damage for their team. Son, Maddison, Brent Johnson, possibly. That's where you can beat Tottenham. If I was Liverpool during this game, there's two ways of looking at it, and it goes to the right back position. If you start Joe Gomez, you have to start Endo because you need to overload that midfield and prevent Maddison from having any time on the ball. If you give Maddison time on the ball and give him an opportunity to create chances for the likes of Son and Kulusevski, that's when the issue is going to come because Liverpool's defence is poor at the moment. We are easy to get at and people can get in behind and beat us with pace. If Endo's in the midfield, he can man mark Maddison and prevent him from having any opportunity, similar to what we saw last night in the Leicester City game. He nullified any attacking threat from any of the Leicester players in midfield following the goal. That's what we need. If we play Trent in the right back position, however, he's going to be on an inverted role. Now, that will overload the midfield, meaning that Endo does not need to start, but then you also need to play someone to cover him for when Spurs inevitably do get forward on that left-hand side, whether it's Son or Brennan Johnson. So it's a game of chess. Based on who you start at right back will determine who starts in midfield, for me personally. Because you cannot allow James Maddison the time on the ball. He's Tottenham's most dangerous player. Son obviously has the 5 goals, but Maddison's the creative outlet for the team. He's the one who's going to make those chances happen for Son. And I feel if you nullify him, Kulusevski isn't going to get the service. Brennan Johnson isn't going to get the service. Richarlison isn't going to be able to have much of an impact. And Son is going to be on his own isolated against Van Dijk and Konate. And that's what you need to do. If it was my choice, I would be starting Trent and I'd have Gravenberch just ahead of him moving into that cover role, similar to a Wijnaldum role from a few seasons back. Trent gets license to go forward, Wijnaldum drops back and covers. As soon as Trent gets back, Wijnaldum goes back into midfield. And I think that's how it needs to work. Now, something interesting that I noticed when I went through the stats is Liverpool have conceded 40% of goals in the first 10 minutes of the match. Tottenham score 14% of their goals in the first 10 minutes, meaning those first 10 minutes of the game are crucial to both of these teams. Both teams are going to go for it. Tottenham, if they get ours, will score in those first 10 minutes. We saw it against Bournemouth, we saw it against Wolves, and they're the games I keep referencing because they were big moments. Teams can get at us. We saw it against Leicester last night. They scored in the first 3 minutes of the game because teams go for us at the beginning and then we grind them down and eventually we come into the game. And in the last 10 minutes, we've scored 33% of our goals this season. This is just Premier League, but that's a big margin in the last 10 minutes. And that shows that our energy rates do not decrease because we have players who can come onto the pitch and provide energy going forward and create those chances because of this. Tottenham have conceded 14% of their goals in the last 10 minutes. So they dip. That's where the key areas are. The last 10 minutes, the first 10 minutes. If Tottenham go for us at the beginning, we will concede. That is a fact. Let's face it, with the defence still playing the way it is at the moment. But if we can weather that storm, I think Tottenham will start to dip, whereas we will go up. Tottenham aren't quite used to this Ange system yet, where they play brilliant football. It looks amazing. It's great going forward, as I've mentioned, but their energy levels can drop and they don't really have anyone on the bench they can bring on as a replacement. Whereas you look at Liverpool, everyone's so used to the Klopp style of heavy metal Gagan football that if you take someone off, you've got someone who can come on and do the same role, i.e. Curtis Jones could come on, a Harvey Elliott could come on, a Szoboszlai could come on, a McAllister, a Gravenberch, an Endo. There's always someone who can come on and fill that role. And I think that's where the key thing is. We need to keep Tottenham moving, grind them down, make sure that they use all their energy keep the ball and have them chasing. If they chase, they will wear down, and that's our opportunity to get at them. Nullify Maddison in the midfield with the likes of Endo or Trent, and that's where we will find success. So I'm just going to give my starting 11, who I think should start the match, and just to quickly why I think they should start the match, because I've gone on quite a while with this one. It's just a very passionate match, and I'm so excited for it. Alisson in goal, obviously. Robbo at right back, Van Dijk, Canate, and the right back position for me, I would be starting Trent. I think if you start Trent, play that inverted role, and then at the head or in the midfield, I would have McAllister, Szoboszlai, Gravenberch. Gravenberch dropping in a little bit deeper, or McAllister even when Trent goes into that inverted midfield role, cover that position, and then at all times we've got both positions covered. It could work. It's a risk. Endo maybe deserves to start after the Leicester game, but this is just how I feel it will go because I think Trent as well has the ability to ping those passes behind the Spurs defence that is not incredibly quick. Van de Ven, Romero, they look a bit vulnerable at times, and I think that's where we could isolate them. So yeah, Trent right back, Gravenberch, McAllister, Szoboszlai. Up front, Salah, obviously. Nunez, Diaz. Quick players. Udogie is inexperienced. Salah getting at him is going to cause him all sorts of trouble. Nunez, physically strong. Van de Ven and Romero aren't going to know which way to go. And if you've got Trent in the middle and McAllister putting those balls over the top, it's going to cause a nightmare. And Diaz, he has a history of scoring against Spurs. Remember 2 seasons ago, the 1-1 he scored in the last minute. So obviously he's got to start. Overall score predictions, I'm going to go 3-2 Liverpool. I think Tottenham are going to score at least 2. They have every game so far this season. But I do think Liverpool are just... We have that little bit of killer instinct at the moment. And I think that's going to benefit us really well against this Tottenham team. So yeah, 3-2 Liverpool. Hopefully we get all 3 points. Really, really excited and looking forward to it. Thank you very much for watching this video, and I will see you soon.